Hey, what is up guys? It's Brendan here, and today we're going to be going through what's in my wallet, taking a look at all the cards that are currently in my wallet, what I'm using, what cards am I using for certain spending categories, and what makes the most sense to use right now, and what is in my wallet. What am I using on my day-to-day basis? I figured I would do an updated video on this because I do have some new cards and some new information when it comes to different spending categories that I am using certain cards for. And of course, before we dive into things, if you want to smash that like button, really helps out the channel. And without ado, let's go ahead and dive into things. Now, the first card we're going to be taking a look at here is actually the PayPal debit card. Now, this card is surprisingly a debit card of all things. It does actually earn 5% cash back, and you can pick the category each month. Now, you do need to activate this each month on the first day of the month, but you can select from some pretty important categories such as fuel, groceries. Now, for me personally, all that I really would see and recommend most people using this on is groceries. Again, groceries is one of the best categories for this card because it is also up to $1,000 to spend in your cashback category per month. Now, they do have a variety of other cashback categories you can pick from, but groceries is one of the best and likely the best for most people because you can actually use this at Costco and Walmart in person. You can use it at Costco and Walmart and get that 5% juicy cash back at Costco and Walmart, which are traditionally places that you're only going to get maybe 2% at best on a catch-all card, maybe 3% with some of the wholesale cards that they do have for wholesale clubs. But surprisingly, PayPal does actually lump wholesale clubs as well as Walmart into the grocery category, which is pretty big, and definitely why I'm starting this video off talking about the PayPal debit card, because that 5% cash back there is pretty nice on the PayPal debit card. It's definitely something not to ignore. Now, I will say as a caveat, it can be a little bit difficult to set up your PayPal account, as you do need a PayPal personal account to actually get the PayPal debit card, but it's a pretty easy setup. It also doesn't ding you against any personal credit, no inquiries. You pretty much just say get the card and they send it right to you. So definitely recommend that. It's a good one. I've been really using this a lot and definitely would recommend it. All you have to do is set it up. You can pick your category. Again, you can also choose from restaurants, apparel, fuel, and rideshare public transit. But for most people, I'd recommend groceries. If you do shop at the wholesale clubs such as Costco or shopping at Walmart, it's a really pretty big spending category that you can hit 5% cash back on. And now it does also work at other grocery stores, maybe Publix or other grocery stores that also lump into that category. It is just that single category each month, but it's up to $1,000 spent. So pretty good. Definitely one of my favorite new cards that I've added to the lineup. Moving in, next we have is actually the Chase for Business credit cards. Now, recently I've taken advantage of the Ink Business Cash as well as the Ink Business Unlimited for their limited time offers. They currently have an elevated offer of $900 in bonus cashback that is actually earned as flexible rewards points in the Ultimate Rewards program, which you can then transfer to cards like the Ink Business Preferred or Sapphire Preferred or Chase Sapphire Reserve that you can then transfer and use for different points transfers with their travel partners. So that can be a really great way to top off your Ultimate Rewards points. And they do have these best offer limited time offers available. At least as the time of making today's video, they do still have these available. If you are interested in the Ink Business Cash or Ink Business Unlimited, I was able to take advantage of both. Your mileage may vary there, but it's definitely a good time to take advantage of the limited time offers, get some bonus points. If you can meet the minimum spend requirements in different ways, that can be a good way to at least get some of that extra cash back. Again, if you are a business owner or you're looking for business cards, these are two pretty decent ones. In terms of actual day-to-day use, not necessarily the most useful compared to the average daily spend categories like some of the other cards we'll be getting into in this video. But you do get 5% cash back on certain business categories such as office supply stores as well. On the Ink Business Cash. That can be good for maximizing some of that 5% cash back on things like office supply stores, internet, cable, and phone services. So that can be a good way to get some extra 5% cash back if you are spending in those categories. Maybe if you want to put your internet bill on there, or if you have cable or phone bill, if you have your cell phone bill, you can put that on there. As well as maybe office supply stores like Staples or Office Depot if you're spending there. Unlimited cashback, this is essentially going to be very similar to the regular Chase Freedom Unlimited is the Ink Business Unlimited. So, just 1.5 cash back. It's not necessarily the best, but not the worst as a general catch-all category. Again, both of these also have no annual fee, which is pretty nice. So not necessarily too bad, good welcome offers, and I am using them right now. Moving in next, we have is the custom cash card. Now, I actually have 2 city custom cash cards. I have a tutorial in the video on the channel on how to do that, but essentially you can get second custom cash by product changing any other city card that you have, as well as just going for the regular city custom cash. Now, this is a 5% card and up to $500 in spend on your top eligible spend category in a billing cycle. Generally, that's going to be around a 1-month period, but the billing cycle can, depending on the card, it could be the first, could be a little bit later in the month, depending on when you got the cards. But it is for a billing cycle, and this can be used on a wide variety of categories. The categories that I'm currently using them on is going to be live entertainment is one of those. So live entertainment is a good category you can hit on things like theme park tickets or concert tickets. Any kind of live entertainment will categorize there at 5%. And then also gas stations. Gas stations is another category that's pretty good as a regular spend that you can get that 5% cash back on. In the past, I have also used this on restaurants and grocery stores, but I actually did move my grocery store spend over to the PayPal debit card because I can get the grocery spend at more places because Costco and Walmart do not count for the grocery stores here. Because those are wholesale clubs, just the way that they categorize it, Citi does not work for those here with the custom cash, but you can do that on the PayPal debit. So I did migrate over. So I have used restaurants in the past, but right now I've just hit with gas stations and live entertainment. The nice thing about the custom cash is I've also used it for select travel, booking maybe a hotel or a flight, you get 5% cash back. Again, the $500 spending cap does kind of limit the select travel category, as you could easily spend over $500 in a transaction, especially on maybe a hotel booking for a trip. So it could be easy to go over that. But on flights, if it's under $500, if it's just domestic travel, that could be another category that you could take advantage of. So it is nice that it's very flexible and dynamic. So month to month, this does change for me. But right now it's been gas stations, live entertainment, but I have used it on almost every category they have listed here, especially with the travel, restaurants, gas stations, grocery stores. Again, a great card at hitting that 5% cash back. Definitely an easy one to get. Although with its usage caveats, you definitely want to make sure you just put the spend on it that you're going to want to get that 5% cash back, because otherwise it's just going to be 1%. So just make sure you put only the spend that you want to hit for that given category in that billing cycle so you maximize the 5% cash back. Moving in next, we also have is the US Bank Cash Plus card. Now this one I do use for 5% cash back. Now this one does have some weird categories that you can use for it. The categories that I'm primarily using is home utilities, so you can pay like water bill, electricity bill. You could also pay garbage bill. So that's a pretty big spending category that could be just like a couple $100 a month for most people who are paying some sort of utility bills. It might be $100. Like you could pretty easily, hit a decent amount of spend per year and get that 5% cash back on the home utilities category. You can also hit for that TV, internet, and streaming. That's the other category I'm currently using, as I did use this for streaming services, as that can be useful. Again, you also have other categories like maybe movie theaters, furniture stores, clothing stores, gyms and fitness centers, electronics stores. That could be like Best Buy or something like that. So again, the categories are a little bit odd here and they're a little bit narrow and niche. So I feel like these two are probably the best with home utilities, TV, internet, and streaming, because TV, internet, and streaming is kind of like a triple category for one. So I feel like those are the best, but at least moving forward, I will continue to use this for home utilities. Not too sure if I'm going to use it for other things, because I can kind of hit those with other credit cards. It's just the home utilities one is a pretty nice, unique category. That the US Bank Cash Plus card, pretty much, you're always going to have it. Now, it is a rotating quarterly category in a way, but you can always just pick the same categories, each of those two categories that you choose per quarter. But once it is picked, it is locked for that quarter. But again, that's not too big of a deal. You can just keep picking that same category that you want to keep on that quarterly category, and it is up to $2,000 in spend each quarter. So hit that easily with home utilities. Moving in next, we also have is the Chase Freedom Unlimited card. Now, this used to be my main catch-all card, but nowadays I really just use it for that 3% on dining for the Ultimate Rewards points. So 3% on dining because I've kind of maxed out my City Custom Cash categories right now, so I'm not using that for restaurants. Instead, I'm like, okay, well, it's better to at least get, earning more on spend across the board, put a couple more niche categories on the City Custom Cash, and just use the Freedom Unlimited for dining because it does have that 3% on dining. It does also have 3% on drugstores, although again, I really don't shop at Walgreens all that much. So again, 3% on dining is the main thing that I am using this card for. In terms of a catch-all card, this could be a decent catch-all card at 1.5x, but honestly, I much prefer to opt for the Wells Fargo Active Cash at a 2% rate, unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. For my general catch-all card, I would recommend anybody at least maybe have a City Double Cash or Wells Fargo Active Cash to get that 2% on anything else that doesn't fit into your 5% category cards or other types of at least 3% on restaurants here with the Freedom Unlimited. That is a pretty nice category there. So if you don't have a card kind of hits a certain category, you can just throw it on the Wells Fargo Active Cash. At least you're guaranteed to get that 2% cash back on every purchase. So that is a pretty nice catch-all card. Definitely recommend everybody at least have one of those in their setup. And again, no categories to track or quarterly activations. So if you're looking for something simpler and less of the hassle, this can be a nice card for pretty much anybody, realistically. Moving next, we also have is the Chase Freedom Flex card. Now, right now in the current categories and quarter, not necessarily the most exciting quarter. This one does also include 3% on dining and drugstores, same as the Freedom Unlimited. But the difference with the Freedom Flex is it is a 5% quarterly rotating card. Now, the current category is not so exciting for me with Old Navy, department stores, Chase Travel. They do also have the special birthday category on PayPal, which is something I will actually be using. That is their birthday bonus category for the month of December only. So I'll pretty much just be using this card in the month of December this year. I will say that their categories are pretty decent usually throughout the year. So this one is kind of on the bench right now for me with the Freedom Flex, but it does earn Ultimate Rewards points, which can be transferred to those travel partners and things like that with other credit cards within the Chase ecosystem. So I definitely see it still as a very valuable card, and I will be, capping out here with the PayPal in December. But otherwise, it's not the most useful of a card, at least at the moment. But depending on the quarterly categories, it can be kind of like the most useful card, but it is capped on just $1,500 of spend for that 5%. So in that quarter, so not too shabby, but right now it's not necessarily the most useful for me, but I will be using it for PayPal at least in the month of December. But otherwise, the categories aren't the most exciting for me right now. Again, the other times throughout the year, they are a little bit better, more useful for me on more everyday type spend categories instead of having to kind of just max it out with PayPal. But that is just what it is right now. So talking about other cards that I'm not the most excited about right now, but it will actually be good for Christmas time, is Discover. They do have the Amazon.com and drugstores for the rotating category. This is another quarterly rotating category card with the Discover It cash back card. I do like this card a lot, and right now I am actually in their cashback match. So this will effectively be 10% on Amazon and drugstores. Now, I'm probably not really going to be using a drugstores. Again, I don't really shop at Walgreens all that much, but for doing some holiday shopping, Amazon.com with 10% effectively once you double the 5%, because it is 5%. Regularly, and then in the first year you have that double cashback match on the Discover It cashback card. Definitely will be using it for Amazon, but other than that, there's really no other use for it, at least at the moment. But again, similar to the Freedom Flex, this card does get put on the bench and then put back in depending on what categories it is throughout the year, and then I can kind of move things around. So that's the nice benefit of having, again, those custom caches as well are pretty flexible, so you can kind of migrate spend around depending on what the categories are on those rotating cards like the Freedom Flex as well as the Discover It cashback card. So guys, that pretty much rounds out the what's in my wallet video. Let me know in the comment section down below what's in your wallet currently for the year, for the quarter, whatever time you're watching this video, what's in your wallet. Let me know, and what you're using and what cards you find useful. Hopefully this video was useful to you and kind of help decide as to what cards you might want to use, maybe what you're looking at getting next in your credit card setup. So guys, thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, then be sure to smash that like button, hit the subscribe button as well, and notification bell so you're notified whenever I upload a new video. Anyway guys, that's all for today's video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.